The warship Dominion of Eternal Screams hung in low orbit above the smoldering ruins of what had once been New Denver. It was a beautiful ship, as far as instruments of planetary conquest went. 12 kilometers long, plated in living obsidian that drank starlight and exhaled it as cold violet flame. 16 species had surrendered the moment they saw it crest their horizon. 3 more had simply ceased to exist rather than face the shame of losing to it. The Vorkai Queen, her radiant hunger, Mira of the Seventh Devouring, stepped onto the scorched earth with the kind of theatrical confidence that could only be built over 400 years of uncontested dominance. Her exoskeleton gleamed like polished midnight. Her secondary eyes, the ones reserved for reading the fear chemistry of lesser beings, were already open and drinking deep. She found the human almost immediately. He was sitting on the hood of a half-melted truck, drinking something from a dented thermos. He was not running. He was not praying. He was not even looking at her. He was watching a crow pick through the debris nearby, and he seemed genuinely interested in what it would find. Mira stopped 6 feet away. Her honor guard of 8 Vorkai warriors, each one tall enough to shadow a barn, fanned out behind her. The planet's remaining atmosphere carried the smell of ionized concrete and her own victory pheromones, which to most species smelled like the last thing they would ever inhale. The human finally looked up. He had gray eyes, tired ones, the kind that had seen several things the owner had not asked to see. "You're the queen," he said. "I am her radiant hunger," Mira announced, her translator implant pitching her voice to shake the rubble around them. "I am the end of your civilization's pretensions. I am the mouth that closes over stars. Fear me, human." The human, Cole, according to the intercepted communications her fleet had been monitoring, tilted his head to one side. Then, slowly, a smile appeared on his face. Not the desperate, brittle kind that broke apart under pressure. Something worse, the genuine kind. The kind that came from somewhere private and unbothered. He laughed. It was a short laugh. Quiet, almost apologetic. The laugh of a man who has just been handed an absurdity too specific to ignore. "Lady," Cole said, "I was married for 11 years to a woman who could make me feel like I was subatomic matter with a single look across a dinner table. You're terrifying. I'm sure you are, but..." He gestured at her vaguely. "You're kind of adorable." The honor guard made a sound. A collective intake of breath across 8 sets of spiracles. Myra's secondary eyes snapped fully open. She tasted the air. She tasted nothing. No cortisol. No adrenaline spike. His heart rate had actually dropped since she started speaking, in the way that human hearts apparently did when their owners found something amusing. This had never happened. "You court death with extraordinary enthusiasm," she said. "I court nothing," Cole said. "I'm retired." He took another sip from the thermos. "You want some coffee? It's the last of the good stuff, probably. Might as well." "I do not consume." "It's a gesture. Means I don't think you're worth being rude to." He looked at her directly now, and Mira found, to her private irritation, that she could not locate the place in his expression where the performance ended. There was no performance. "Sit down if you want. Or stand. I'm not in charge of you." Mira did not sit down. She drew herself to her full height, 3 meters of ancient, evolved killing intention, and spread her mantle in the display posture that had made the Kthari Confederacy dissolve their government in a single afternoon. Cole watched this with the polite attention of a man observing a street performer he had stumbled upon by accident. Interested, not afraid. "Your planet," Mira said carefully, "has been assessed and found to contain sufficient biological and mineral resources to warrant integration. What remains of your species will be cataloged, processed, relocated, and eventually absorbed," Cole finished. "Yeah, we got the broadcast. 37 languages, real thorough. Your communications team is good." He nodded. "We've had time to think about it. You have had 6 of your hours. That's plenty." He finally climbed off the hood of the truck. He was not tall, not by any standard that mattered out here, but he stood straight in a way that was somehow more unsettling than aggression would have been. "Here's the thing about humans and time, your radiance. 6 hours is an eternity when you're angry and you've got hands." Myra's secondary eyes were reading nothing. It made her feel as if she were going blind. "Your military has been destroyed," she said. "Our formal military," Cole agreed. "Sure. That part took you, what, 40 minutes? We're impressed, genuinely." Very efficient. He rubbed the back of his neck. But see, here's what our file probably didn't cover. Formal militaries are the part of us that fights like you expect. The other part. He let that hang in the air. One of the honor guard shifted weight. Mira noted this. Her warriors did not shift weight. They had not done so in a combined 4,000 years of service. We have occupied 43 worlds, Mira said. We know. We talked to the Dravari and the Salyan, and whatever's left of the Kthari. Turns out 3 of their archivist colonies survived, very talkative people, fascinating oral histories. He looked at her. None of them fought you the way we're going to. You have no fleet remaining. We have basements, Cole said. We have grudges. We have the specific psychological profile of a species that spent 300,000 years as prey animals and decided that was unacceptable. He smiled again, and this time it had an edge to it. We don't fight wars, Your Radiance. We end them. Ours, eventually. Everybody else's, if they push us hard enough. Mira stared at him. In 4 centuries, she had watched species beg. She had watched them bargain, collapse, transcend, and vanish. She had watched kings denounce their gods and scientists denounce their certainties, all in the first hour of her arrival. This man was drinking bad coffee and making her feel like she had stumbled into someone else's story. You are one human, she said. I'm the one they sent to talk to you, Cole said. That should worry you a little. He capped the thermos. Look, I was a structural engineer before all this. I built bridges. I know how things hold together, and I know how they fail. You want this planet? We'll make it the most expensive piece of real estate your empire has ever tried to hold. Not because we think we'll win in the next 5 minutes. Because we have absolutely nothing else to do and a deep, species-wide, need to prove a point. The crow landed on the truck behind him. Colden looked back at it. Or, he said, you could talk to us like the intelligent species you apparently are, instead of another set of ruins to add to your portfolio. The silence stretched out across the rubble. Myra's secondary eyes were still reading nothing. Her primary eyes, though, the old ones, the ones that had seen civilizations rise and compost into history, were reading something she had not expected to find on a species' worst day. Patience. Not the patience of the resigned. The patience of the certain. She thought about the 43 worlds. She thought about their files, their resources, their swift compliance. She thought about how none of them had sent one tired man to sit on a broken truck and offer her coffee. You are either very brave or very stupid, she said at last. My ex-wife would tell you the second one, Cole said. But she'd be wrong, and we both know it, which is why she's my ex-wife. He looked up at the dominion of eternal screams hanging black and violet in the midday sky. I will say this about you. You've got better taste in ships than she had in cars. Mira was quiet for a long moment. Then, against the accumulated gravity of 400 years and 43 conquered worlds, she said, What are your terms? Cole reached into his jacket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. Thought you'd ask, he said. I made a list. They talked for 6 hours. The honor guard stood the whole time. The crow found something shiny in the debris and flew away with it. The coffee ran out by hour 3, which Cole considered the real tragedy of the day. Humanity's formal military was gone. Everything else was just getting started.